Hello there. It is 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, and I was hoping to do this Facebook Live about half an hour ago, but man, this kid thing, it's real. And anytime they come over and they're like, "Mommy, Mommy," I got caught up, needless to say. But the purpose of me doing this Facebook Live right now is because I'm really excited about my weekend plans, and I wanted to share exactly what my role is going to be. I had tweeted out yesterday that I am going to go down to Daytona, and I'm going to be working with Joe Gibbs Racing to do some work for their social digital channels, to be a part of their team, and we're going to interview drivers, give special behind the scenes access, really unique access, and put it on the different platforms. So if you follow Joe Gibbs Racing on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, we're going to take you places that fans don't really get to go, and we're going to talk to drivers about what they're doing to get ready, talk to the teams about, how they pull it all together ahead of really the biggest race in the sport coming up here on Sunday. I'm so pumped because I truly love racing. I love NASCAR, and when I started covering sports, I actually was hired in Miami as a reporter because I struck up a conversation in Victory Lane at a NASCAR race with some folks that were looking for a person to fill a job that had just been vacated. And I fell in love with racing really early on just because being around it, covering it in the ARCA series, which is one of the, the starting levels of racing, I really got to see what it takes, for these teams and these drivers to do what they do. The family commitment, the different, the different things that they have to worry about, the way that it all comes together at the track, and what happens from Thursday through Sunday when you're at a track and getting ready. I think it's amazing, and I think that it's sort of similar to getting access when you are, at a horse racing track. And I grew up with my dad being a sports journalist. Also, he worked for USA Today, and one of the sports that he loved covering the most was horse racing. And he would always talk about what it meant to him to be at a track and at the barns early in the morning, and how that's one of his favorite times to to be out there and to be in the thick of it and the environment. And for me, being at a racetrack is kind of the same thing. I love it when you show up early in the morning and they're just opening the garage, and you've got people that are cooking and they're getting ready, and the crews are, already hard at work and all of that. I'm totally rambling, which is why I do this constantly on Facebook. And I just realized that I'm still having these glasses on. My husband hates these glasses. He thinks the cat eye's awful. But anyway, back to this opportunity. One of the coolest things about my situation right now, which is the fact that, I've been able to take some time and really figure out what it is that kind of hits me in terms of the passions and the things that I love the most about what I do. And a huge part of that is always storytelling. And when I came up in the business covering sports, and I started in racing, and then I eventually, was covering NFL teams and doing local sports reporting, and I went to Miami and then to Washington, D.C., and then to ESPN. It's always been about those behind the scenes stories and finding out, how to make athletes relatable, right? To you guys, to viewers that watch them on a daily basis. Because I believe when there is something that you see that so-and-so, likes to do, and you maybe do the same thing, or you like the same kind of stuff, then that's how fans are born, right? And I also think that giving people behind the scenes access into a different sport, or, even a day, right? How does Steph Curry spend his day? Or how does, LeBron James or Nick Foles, right? What do they do to prepare? That kind of stuff to me is always so interesting. We were just at the Super Bowl, and, Chris Long was talking about how he drinks 4 cups of coffee on game day, right? And that is his routine. And I just think that kind of storyline, to me, is really cool. Thank you. You said you missed me on ESPN. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Craig is wrong. You like the glasses. Thank you. I'll share that with my husband, who is right now in South Korea. So he's sleeping. But anyway, I'm so looking forward to this, because to me, this is an opportunity for me to go down and do something that I am just genuinely curious about and interested. We're going to be talking to the Xfinity drivers as well, you know, following them up to when they're doing their race on Saturday. I get to sort of tag along and see their process, see them, you know, doing their podcast, doing some unique, you know, adventure type events that they've got set up. That is really cool. We're also going to be doing a really, I think, cool feature called 500 seconds to the 500, right? So if you add 500 seconds up, it's a lengthy swath of time. And so we're going to be doing interviews with different drivers, some of the Xfinity drivers, as well as the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series drivers, which I keep having to say that because as I've been working around racing, it's been Nextel Cup, Sprint Cup, Winston Cup originally. Anyway, so that'll include, you know, those drivers as well as, you know, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, part of that as well. So it's just going to be a lot of fun, and I'm pumped to get down in some warmer weather. I'm pumped to be able to have conversations. And, you know, when I first started in sports, Denny Hamlin was just starting, and I remember doing a feature on him for the George Michael Sports Machine. So to see him now, you know, and how his family has changed, how his life has evolved, it's just going to be a lot of fun. Zachary Mall says, "What's up, Lindsay?" Not much, except I'm just waving the checkered flag. Pumped to get down there this weekend. And what else? That's really it. Again, follow us on Joe Gibbs Racing. I will be diligent about, you know, letting folks know where they can see the different things that we're doing. We're going to have a lot of fun too at the track because you never know what kinds of things pop up. So my main objective is to give you guys access, and I would love to hear from you too. My wallpaper is tripping you out, Michael Johnson, but don't you love it? Here's the thing. I was an art minor in college. I just love prints. I love art. My friend who helped us with this decoration thought that it would be really cool to do the whole ceiling. So I'm going to show you. It's the whole ceiling is done in this trippy wallpaper. But this is my sanctuary where I am. This is when I'm trying to get away from people in my house. I just come up here. But I know it's a lot. There's a lot going on. But it just makes me happy and just kind of sane for a little bit of time. So anyway, yeah, so I've covered that. The 500 seconds to the 500, talking to the different drivers, different teams, of course, because that's such a big part of it, you know. Listening to you while watching Kornheiser and Wilbon going at it on PTI. That's awesome. So I could kind of take it right from them and toss to like my own Facebook Live, right? One other thing I wanted to mention while I have y'all here, my focus of this is just talking about what I'm going to be doing with Joe Gibbs Racing down at the Daytona 500. But John DeFilippo, who I went to college with, got the job as the OC, the offensive coordinator for the Vikings, which I just think is huge. And so that's news that I thought, wow, that's really cool. Will I burn some rubber for you on the racetrack, Chris Warner? I mean, probably not. I've done a ride-along. I love doing ride-alongs. But, you know, things get kind of serious when they're getting ready for the 500. So probably not. But I will certainly be asking a lot of questions. I would love to know questions that you guys might have and things that I can, you know, be sharing that you guys would really like to know from just the racing in general perspective, you know, or certainly any of the Gibbs teams and Gibbs drivers. Rowdy number 18, Team JGR, Kyle Busch fan. There we go. JR Radford. All right. I'm about to sign off here because I'm still trying to perfect this. Who do I have winning the Daytona 500? Chris Durham is asking that. I'm going to do what I find really annoying, and I'm going to say give me until Friday to come back at you guys with like a really educated guess because I got to be down there. And I want to just see what I see. We're also going to be talking to Joe Gibbs. You know, I can't wait to be around him in that environment because the last time I saw him was a couple weeks ago when we went down to talk to him at his race shop about the Redskins. So I was down there pre-Super Bowl getting his perspective on some different things. But seeing him in that element is really cool because it's, you know, it's different, but it's just as important to him. And he was grinding. You know, he was working so hard at the race shop. It's like, you just realize with Coach that he just really never gives himself a break. How big of a change will it be without Junior? Chris says huge, right? But I'm also so pumped to see once they pick up their coverage how he's going to do as a broadcaster because I think he's going to be tremendous. And ironically, one of the first things that I ever did in racing was at Daytona, and it was the Dale Earnhardt tribute concert, right? That was, man, it was more than 15 years ago. But I think that Junior is one of the best guys on the planet. He is really genuine. He's awesome, and I think he's going to do great. Tell Gibbs, go Cowboys. What's your problem? Why would I do that? Go Cowboys. But I am very curious to see what Washington's going to do with Kirk Cousins. But that's a topic for a different day, and we will talk about that. Rick says they need to run the duels first. Duly noted, and we'll be covering that as well. So that's awesome. Anyway, so I'm going to sign off here and say good night, good day, depending on where you're going, where you're watching from. But again, I'm just so pumped to have this opportunity. We will start our coverage Thursday from the racetrack. So we're going to have a lot to talk about. And again, check out the different platforms. It's going to be awesome. Robert, thank you. That was a very nice thing for you to say. All right. See y'all later. I'll talk to you soon. Peace out. Now I'm going to put the glasses back on so I can go and handle children. Bye. If I can figure out how to finish this.